jungles of Chult to destroy the cause of this terrible affliction. Vale, the half-elven paladin who's just now learning of his divinely granted powers. Ubo, the total monk from a distant land who's as quick with his wit as he is with his staff. Brilinya, Aasimar warlock sent on this quest by her temple, discovering herself in this strange new land. And gunslinger Cole, tiefling artificer and archaeologist who may just dig up more than she bargained for. This motley band of adventurers must work together to brave the poisonous plants, venomous monsters, thundering dinosaurs, and rotting undead of the jungle. Join the omnipotent dungeon master Jake from Mini-Terrain Domain to see if our heroes can find the soulmonger, uncover the deeper mysteries of Chult, and free the world from the death curse. Welcome to the jungle. Welcome to Chult of Personality.
Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini-Terrain Domain, and this is Chult of Personality, a Tomb of Annihilation campaign happening every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here on twitch.tv/Mini-Terrain Domain. And as I just said in the chat, get your double entendres ready because tonight is episode 69. That's right, after 2.5+ years, we have reached episode 69 of this campaign. It is titled Toil and Trouble. And in just a few moments, we'll do a screen recap, get us back into form from last week. So we're all caught up and we're going to dive right into it. First up, we're going to do a couple of really quick announcements. First and foremost, I want to once again tell everybody about Jasper's Game Day. You can type !Jasper in the chat and you will see a link pop up. That is a direct donation link to Jasper's Game Day, an amazing charity that I am very pleased to be partnered with. That their whole mission is to raise awareness of and the prevention of suicide through tabletop gaming. And we just got done with our big Jasper's Game Week fundraising annual charity event where we raised over $35,000 in a week. And it's phenomenal. And I know a lot of you that are joining us even now to watch this game have come over from that. So welcome. And you can go back on the YouTube channel and catch all of our old episodes. But anyway, if you click that link, you can direct donate to Jasper's Game Day. Know that your funds that you raise are going to benefit suicide crisis centers, the National Suicide Hotline, Teen Hotline, and the education of teachers and administrators on how to look for warning signs and deal with the unfortunate after effects of a suicide. Another way that you can give to Jasper's Game Day is through our partnership with Initiative Coffee Company. We've teamed up with them to bring you Metade Roast Coffee, a wonderful medium Brazilian and Peruvian roast. Absolutely delicious. Big Bird the Nerd. Big Bird the Nerd. Sorry, Dwight. Big Bearded Nerd and I. We both chose, we personally selected that flavor of the coffee. It has our seal of approval. That's all I'm saying. And it's a really good coffee. And if you purchase a 12-ounce bag of coffee at that link, $3 of that purchase will go to benefit Jasper's Game Day. And I neglected to put the to add the logo to this stream. I got a little busy, but I'm gonna go ahead and you'll see it pop up from time to time in the chat. I want to announce for the first time on this show Mini-Terrain Domain's new partnership with Talon and Claw. Talon and Claw is an incredible just an incredible asset to this community. And they happen to make incredible dice vaults, DM screens, and things like that. We've partnered up with them, if you head over there to the link that just dropped when I typed sponsor, you can check out what they have to offer. And if you use the sponsor code MTDClaw at checkout, you will get 10% off of your purchase. And I really want to encourage you to click that second link. It just launched this last Friday. They were fully funded in 3 minutes. They were, I believe, 1,700% funded by the end of the first day. The limited edition whiskey barrel dice vaults. Dice vaults made from actual lids that have been used in barrels to age whiskey. So I was excited to back that one. You can click that link and you can go back them as well. But do head over, click that link, head over and check out what Talon Claw has to offer. And if you do decide to buy something, use code MTDClaw. The usual rules apply for our lovely domain devils down here. Thanks to all of you, people who subscribe, resubscribe, all that kind of stuff. These players have 20 domain dice that they can use at any time to re-roll a d20, force me to re-roll a d20, or turn a hit into a super critical, those kind of things. And that happens every time you subscribe or resubscribe. If you raid the channel, or simply by cheering 500 bits or donating $5 through a tip, that will earn them a domain die and have a little bit of influence on that. I don't know what just happened. Well, there was the resubscription, but it just blew out the audio is really weird on that. So I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to have to fix that. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it sounded like a big audio glitch going on. But we've got you another domain die, so I'll set that in just a moment. The last thing that I want to mention is perhaps the most important thing that I'm going to mention before we start this game, and that is you matter. No matter where you are in this world, no matter whether or not you believe it, your presence on this earth means something. It makes a difference. It can be tough to believe that. It can be tough just dealing with the way things are in the way the world is right now. It makes it challenging. But you can come here to Mini Terrain Domain anytime, whether we're broadcasting or not. Type in help, !help into the chat, and some resources will pop up. If you're in the United States, you can call the National Suicide Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. If you are in the armed forces or a veteran, you can press the number 1 after you dial that number to be connected to a special counselor. If you prefer, you can text 741-741. If you are among our friends in Canada, you can reach the crisis text line by texting the word connect in English or parlay for French to 686-868, or you can call the Canada Suicide Prevention Services in French or English, toll free 1-833-456-4566. And if you're among our friends all around the world, you can go to the website opencounseling.com/suicide-hotlines. And there are a bunch of resources for various countries around the world. Don't hesitate. If you need to talk to somebody, reach out to one of these numbers. They're trained professionals, and that's what they're there for. Please use those numbers if you need to. With that, I think it's time for us to play some Dungeons and Dragons. So here we are, episode 69, Toil and Trouble. These adventurers have been working their way for days, weeks, months, some of them years, as time seems to have lost some meaning since entering the tomb. They have been searching for the cause of the death curse that has plagued the realm, and have learned through the course of their adventures, they've learned of something called the Soulmonger, existing within the tomb of the 9 gods, deep in the heart of the jungles of Chult. For a very long time, they have been working through this very dungeon, going deeper and deeper into it, always toying with, flirting with death, coming ever so close. Some more than others. Sacrifices have been made. Allies have been lost. Some of them have been lost, as in we have no idea where they went. They fell off an airship and we haven't seen them since. Some of them have been lost, as in we saw them fall down a shaft and let's just say they went through a spinning fan blade and were no more. But nonetheless, this four group of allies persists, getting deeper and deeper. Throughout the dungeon, they have encountered the burial tombs of several of the trickster gods, and in some cases, either voluntarily or involuntarily, have allowed those spirits to inhabit them, granting them otherworldly abilities and magical items. They have also found skeleton keys, living, or rather unliving skeletons with fused shapes of metal into their head. Very easy to kill. But they now possess these 5 skeleton keys in the shape of a triangle, a square, a hexagon, a pentagon, and an octagon. Most recently, they made their way down into a chamber containing several doors, each leading to a different trial. They encountered the 3 mysterious doll figures that have said that they were inhabited by the spirits or souls of children of Omu. Straw Bundle, the straw bundled doll with little rusty pins sticking out. The faceless Clay No Face, a doll made entirely of clay. And the bizarre Joho the monkey, whose lower half is a unicycle. They were warned of the Sohn sisters that they would be back. Please to hurry and deal with the trial of the keys. Vale, who is a little less than he used to be after sacrificing one of his arms in order to get himself and the party out of a tough spot, went to talk to the looky-like, as the dolls referred to him, the prisoner huddled in a cage, and realized that it was a bizarre, deformed clone of himself. And as Vale would tell you, and Mike, with a poor imitation of his accent. But they've learned that this looky-like was tortured for information about the party, and that upon their return, the Sohn sisters plan to eat him. They maneuvered through the first trial in an attempt to get inside a glass cylinder. Brilinya used a form previously unused and newly learned form of teleportation magic and managed to teleport into the tube, though she felt a very strong dark presence, darker than any presence ever before, in that space between the blinking of an eye. And when she tried to return, she was caught between those same blinks of an eye and found herself trapped in an oubliette filled with dozens and dozens of dead bodies and an odiug. No amount of magic or brute force would get her out of this place, until she took a 50-50 chance and pulled a lever and magically teleported or transported herself and all of the dead bodies, all 47 of them, and the odiug and the Zorn that she decided to summon, into a hallway on the first floor. Meanwhile, the others continued. They faced the trial of the feast, where some of them succumbed to the food and gained much boons, but a couple of them chose immediately not to eat and are now cursed with an insatiable hunger. They have just completed the 3rd trial. Taliel, lighting all the candles and seeing the lever reflected in the mirror, walked back carefully and pulled on the reflection of the lever and opened that keyhole for the hexagon. It is at this point we are going to go to Brilinya, who, after appearing in that hallway, has rapidly, gaining her bearings, rapidly descended down through the levels once again in an attempt to rejoin with her party. Brilinya, where are you? And take us on your journey back into where your friends are.
I can imagine that the exertion, both mental and emotional, and some physical, going through trying to get over the bodies and trying different things to try and get out, and then eventually doing so, and then having to make the quite lengthy trek back down. Brilinya is exhausted. I imagine that she's covered and reeks of dead and decay. And so I imagine as she walks into this main room where all the keys are, and she sees that the progress that has been made, and that she can't help but smile a little bit, though it is only weak. And she comes in and she begins to look for her companions, though they could probably smell her before they see her.
Vale, Taliel, and Qualu, you have just succeeded on pulling that lever. And who, I would say, of Qualu and Vale, which of you is closest to the door and notice as Brilinya enters covered in viscera and reeking of the odor she does?
I think it would probably be me. I mean, at first, seeing Brill covered in gore, I would be really worried. Thinking that she was obviously very injured. I would run up to her, and then probably the smell would hit, and I'd probably stop, maintaining a social distance. Mostly, because of the smell. Brill, you're all right. How you doing? You okay?
She just weakly nods. I've been better, to be honest.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm really trying to breathe through my mouth.
She kind of looks down as if she's just realizing for the first time that she's covered. Right.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. The important thing is that you're alive. What happened?
Well, I knew that there was something wrong. As soon as I cast that spell to teleport, something happened. I felt a shift. I knew something was different. But I couldn't figure out a way back, and so I tried it again, and then I found myself in a pit full of bodies. And there was no way out. Really, there wasn't. There was that devil face.
Yeah.
There's a creature in there that is now loose in the tomb, but it seemed quite skittish. So I'm not sure.
If you remember, you watched it run down it tried to go down the hallway that you had entered from, and it was impaled on, or rather shot with full with
right.
all of the arrow traps. So you did actually watch the Odia get killed.
Right. Thank you. Sorry.
Unless you were referring to the Zorn that you left. loose in the dungeon.
No, that's fine. You can't get in the hole. Okay, so then, well, there were two levers, and I pulled one, and it put me at the very beginning of this entire temple where we first started, and I came down here.
I see.
Though I also had an interaction with one of the sisters, I think. She had a bag, and horrible creatures kept popping out of it and speaking to me.
That sounds odd enough to probably be witchcraft.
So at least I got a good look, and she would explain more. Maybe that they could find some sort of like weakness, or at least knowing what they look like, or one of them looks like, possibly maybe would help. But then after she would, right, it's good to see that you guys have worked with the keys, gotten some of them.
Yeah, but we've had our own problems with that.
Is everyone okay?
No. Do you have any magic to remove a curse?
I believe so.
Oh, good. Because you might want to remove it off of them too. They have horrible hunger pangs. It just doesn't go away no matter what they eat.
Huh. Would you see Taliel and
Yeah,
behind?
By this point, you're either close enough to see them in the room, or if Taliel and Qualo, if you would come out, you would see and smell Brilinya talking to Vale. I imagine you would have heard Brilinya's voice anyway as she was talking to Vale. So,
Brilinya, you're back. Did you bring some food?
I don't think you would have wanted to eat wherever place I was.
Oh, no. I think I'll go to the other room back in.
Wait, Phil was saying you have some sort of curse? Your hunger?
I'm starving. So hungry. It doesn't matter what I eat. And you can see probably that she still has probably like remnants of roast pig, like juice, like on her chin or something.
So Berlinya's going to reach out, very apologetically looking at Taliel. I'm sorry. Let me try something though. Hold your breath. And she's just going to like place her hand on Taliel's shoulder, and attempt to cast Greater Restoration to maybe remove this hunger.
what does this look like?
I imagine you oftentimes see Brilinya. It's for a lot of her magic, it's a very full body look. The light seems to always emanate from her core and outward, sometimes lighting up her hair and down her arms. In this case, it does the same thing, though I imagine it creates a much more ghoulish look as her matted hair and stained skin begins to glow and course through her arm, and Taliel would feel a warmth on her shoulder.
And Taliel, you are no longer hungry. So, yeah, your hunger goes away.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think almost at that moment where the hunger goes away, so she stops smelling that delicious food in that next room, but now she's overwhelmed by what Brilinya is is putting off. And I think from everything that happens, Taliel just kind of maybe turns slightly green and goes to the gallery edge, and it's not so pleasant.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, I'll bring up the map once again. You guys are just outside of that lower room on the left, kind of in the gallery area. I would imagine, Brilinya, you would have come all the way down to those stairs on the southwest corner to come up and meet the others. So you're kind of in that little landing area there. And yeah, so you're able to lean over to the railing if you need to hurl or drive. Mechanically, the disadvantage on attack rolls and skills checks is now gone, and the benefit from the roast boar is now advantage on all strength checks. However, your connection to Kubazan is still suppressed.
I think that Brilinya would then seek out Qualu to do the same thing, but she's going to have to use the Pearl of Power. Wait 1 second. Sorry. It says here you gain 1 expended spell slot. If the expended spell slot was a 4th level or higher, the new slot is 3rd level. What does that mean?
While this pearl is on your person, yeah. So if you're the maximum spell slot you can regain is a 3rd level spell slot, is what it's saying.
Okay. So she still couldn't cast Greater Restoration because it's a 5th level.
If you don't have the spell slot, you wouldn't be able to cast it. Well, you know what?
But as a warlock,
You're
it's
a
weird
warlock, so
I
you only
have...
get 1 level. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna rule it that it works for you in that way, so we don't have to worry about it. It makes sense as a warlock. Yeah, I forgot about that. That you've only got the 1 level. Also, so the chat has been throwing domain dice at you guys, so you have already gained like this game 5 additional. So use them as you need them.
So then, yeah, Brilinya would definitely go to Qualu then, and using the Pearl of Power casts Greater Restoration again on him in the similar fashion to Taliel.
Qualu, how do you react when Brilinya, looking and smelling the way she does, approaches?
I think that Qualu is too crippled by hunger to really care, and also he sees the restorative powers of her magic being done to Taliel, and he's almost like eager, just like, undo this curse that Vale did upon me. He kind of would rumble under his breath.
Yeah, she would kind of like with a slight like eyebrow raise of like, Vale did this to you, but she would still cast the spell. There.
All right, so mechanically, Qualu, you no longer are under the effects of that curse. All your disadvantage from attack rolls and skill checks is now back to normal. All right. So the 4 of you stand near the skeleton door. You can all see that the triangle, the pentagon, and the hexagon keyholes have all been opened. 2 more remain, and it just so happens that on the other side of the gallery, there are 2 more rooms. Where would you go next? The square is the one all the way up in the northeast corner. The one that you would pass by first, the lower door, is the octagon.
I think we'd probably just do the octagon, seeing as we've just been kind of going in room order since we lost Brill.
Mhm.
All right. So, who is going to open the door? As like all of the other doors, this is a wooden door, and there is an octagon carved into the wood of the door.
If I'll go for it. I'll open it.
All right. You open up the room and you see a room in similar size and shape to the others, about 15, 20 feet wide. Rather, about 15 feet by 15 feet. Slightly trapezoidal on the far side, couple angled walls. Across the room, you see... Where did it go? You see that in this room, you see that it is the ceiling of this plaster-walled room is 15 feet above you. A leather-backed tome is resting open atop a wooden lectern that is bolted to the floor. Set into the wall behind the lectern are 8 human skeletons arranged so that they appear to be falling and screaming. And I'll show you that map view one more time so you can see the position of the lectern and the shape of the room here in this lower right-hand corner. And that wall directly behind the lectern is where those 8 skeletons are arranged so they look like they're falling and screaming. What would you like to do?
Taliel will walk into the room and approach the tome to
All right.
see what it is.
I think Brilinya would follow close behind, but I think stick to the left side, so the north on the map, the northern part of the room.
Okay. Qualo and Vale.
I'll probably go in next. Not draw my weapon, but at least have it ready, just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Walu will go next.
All right. Taliel, go ahead and give me a investigation check. And why don't the rest of you, as you're being cautiously entering the room, go ahead and give me perception checks as well.
Yes, I'm looking really hard. 3 for investigation.
You do have 25 domain dice.
I got a 2 for mine. So together we have a total of 5.
Brilinya got 15.
I got an 18.
All right, Taliel, you walk up to this lectern, and what you see is this leather-bound book is very large. It looks like it has 8 pages, very thick pages sewn into it. it's currently opened up to roughly the middle of the book, and you see on the left page, on page 4, you see the lever, clear as day. On page 5, the right page, you see spin, spin, iron spider. And as you're seeing this, Vale, one second, and I gotta do something. As you're seeing this, Vale, you notice that where'd it go? Sorry, it looked like Twitch completely disconnected, but it might have just been my browser. That's why I was distracted. I apologize. Vale, with that investigation check, you notice as you're moving along the edge and you have your hand sort of at the ready on the hilt of your rapier, you can hear the sort of shuffling of everybody's feet. Maybe they're breathing. You can most definitely smell Brilinya. You notice there's something peculiar about the floor. The floor seems to have, along the perimeter's edge, you've actually seen this before in other rooms you've been in. There appears to be a seam running along the floor, all along the perimeter of this room.
I'll probably try and get everyone's attention. Just letting them know about the floor. But I'll kind of end it at, we should make sure that most of these other traps are a lot more complex than that. There has to be something else. The walls, the ceiling. God, I sound paranoid, but and I'll look around at the walls to see if I can see any levers, holes for arrows. I'll probably do the same thing on the ceiling. Have a look to see if there's any holes or anything to that effect.
Okay, go ahead and give me a new investigation check.
Ooh, cheeky breaky.
Brilinya, or excuse me, Taliel, what are you doing now that you've seen this book? And sorry, I meant to share with you in our chat what you saw on the pages so you can reference that. So there's page 4 that says see the lever, clear as day. And page 5 says spin, spin, iron spider. Vale, what you got for your investigation check?
I got myself a nat 20.
Okay.
Plus 3, so 23.
Okay.
In case it was like, oh, you got a nat 20? Well, what is also your modifier on that? Because I know sometimes. Yeah.
All right, so Taliel, what are you doing with this book?
I think Taliel was in the process of probably reaching out to maybe change a page, but as soon as Vale mentioned something about the floor and there's a seam, she would not touch it at all yet until we figure out more about the room.
Vale, you're looking real close at the walls and the ceiling. You don't see any indication of any holes. There's no other seams anywhere. The ceiling looks to be made of smooth cut stone. And then there's those skeletons all along that eastern wall. They are sort of embedded in the wall that look as though they are falling and screaming. I would say with that investigation, as you're sort of looking all around, the only other thing of note seems to be that the lectern, the wooden lectern, is bolted to the floor.
Wait. If the lectern is bolted to the floor, then the floor should be solid, right? That just makes sense. There's no sense in having something bolted to the floor if the floor is just going to fall away. And I'm actually going to make myself an intelligence check. There has to be something else then. It's not the floor that falls away. There's something more. Something, the ceiling, the walls maybe.
Maybe they all come crashing down, or the floor goes up, or the floor goes down.
I don't know. Something. I don't like this at all.
The book is open to page 4. There's more before it.
Could you use that spectral hand that you used the time before to turn the page?
I could try.
So we could clear the room, just in case something happens.
Yeah, we could try that.
Yeah, and Brilinya would go out to the entranceway.
So what are you doing, Taliel? You're gonna try mage hand turning the pages?
Yes, it's going to stand outside of the room, and then flip the book, like flip the pages so that it is now open to page 1.
Okay. So your spectral hand. Everybody leaves the room then? I'm just making sure. Vale, do you leave the room?
Yeah, I'll leave the room.
Okay. So everybody's out of the room, sort of peering in, and Taliel, you summon this spectral hand once again. That you're able to do so, if I recall correctly, because of the lantern, the ghost lantern that you have. So it has that sort of eerie bluish light, and under your command, it reaches over and flips the pages all away until only a single page, the first page, is showing. Nothing happens other than that.
So while still concentrating on the spell, I will go into the room far enough to be able to read what was on page 1.
Okay. You end up having to get fairly close, within about 5 feet, and you see the phrase, backward, 8 to 1.
And I would be reading this out loud, I think, so that the rest could hear. And that's, well, maybe I have to start at the back of the book.
Yeah.
So I think, again, Taliel, just to be cautious, would step back out of the room and then use
Sure.
the mage hand to flip the book back to the back page.
All right. It's all the way to the last page now.
And she would go into the room cautiously and read what it says.
On this page, it says, forward, 1 to 8.
Not helpful. This book is not helpful. What's on page 7? Because that should be on the same open face, right?
No.
No.
2 and
Just
3
4
are
and
facing
5?
pages. 4 and 5 are facing pages. 6 and 7 are facing pages. Page
and
1
eight's
and
that.
page 8 are the first and last page. So you'd have to turn the
Yes.
page backwards.
Yeah, I'll use the mage hand. We'll turn it once.
Okay. You flip it, and you see on pages 6 and 7. On page 6, it says, "Turn their flesh and bones to cider." Page 7 says, "Speak the rhyme and meet your fate."
So I think at that, if Taliel like says that out loud, Brilinya would hold up her hand to stop like reading it.
I think
With
Taliel
this-
would have, yeah, Taliel would have got to the word speak and then stopped. And read the rest of her head. Yeah.
So up to this point, you've been reading them aloud to everybody, and now you stop. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen pages 4, 5, 1, 8, 6, 7.
Let's go for 2 and 3 using mage hand.
All right. You use the mage hand, and so going to page 2, you see.
I'm not reading these.
You see the words "speak the rhyme until it's done," and page 3, "keep the spider locked away." I feel like I need fantasy Jeopardy music as you puzzle over this, especially since the order you got them in now is 4, 5, 1, 8, 6, 7, 2, 3. So what would you like to do?
What if you read it out loud into the room?
Wait, I think we need to. It's telling us to do 2 different things. Read it forward, read it backward. And if you look at, well, I guess Brilinya would have come over and read them. I guess she doesn't know what they would say.
I would have,
so Brilinya
yeah.
would. Yeah, Brilinya would be over to read them.
And I
So if
imagine,
you look at,
because you have Cole's journal and you've been annotating pretty much everything in the dungeon, so it's safe to say you're able to write them down for reference.
yeah. If you look at page 7 versus page 2,
Mm-hmm.
they're very similar. So I think it's
Same with 1 and 8.
right. I think it's one of those where we are. I think that's what we have to decide is whether
So
we want to read it forward or read it backward from 8 to 1 or 1 to 8. So
Maybe
the
reading
thing is,
it. Sorry.
sorry, you can go ahead.
Maybe reading it forward is dangerous and reading it backward is safe.
That's what I was going to say. If you look at it backwards, it has a much safer meaning, it looks like. Yeah, if you read it backwards, it looks like it has a much safer meaning than if you read it forwards. Meeting your fate and
Okay.
all that. So I think you should read it backwards. Because it sounds better.
Truly,
Yeah,
you have a dizzying intellect.
I think Taliel was coming to the same conclusions. Was that forwards or backwards? And she was thinking the backwards probably is the best. So I think at this point, though, to be safest, that I'll take this one, she says. And how about you guys stand out of the room in case something happens? I'll say it. And she'll go in and, starting at page 8, we'll read them out loud. So forward, 1 to 8, speak the rhyme and meet your fate. Turn their flesh and bones to cider. Spin, spin, iron spider. See the lever clear as day. Keep the spider locked away. Speak the rhyme until it's done. Backward, 8 to 1.
You hear something click and snap and pop at the base of the lectern on the back side of it.
If nothing else happens, she would kind of hesitate for a second and then go look to see what happened.
You look around behind the lectern and you see that a secret compartment has popped open, and inside the lectern is a golden lever.
And is the door to the room is still open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would let them know exactly what I see. Do I just pull it?
I think so.
Okay. Here's hoping, and she'll pull the lever.
Brilinya, Qualu, and Vale, you all hear off to your right at the skeleton door as the octagon keyhole has just opened up. I love when you have no idea what the sound effects mean. Uh-oh. What just happened?
Apparently my camera just died. So,
No. Wait, am I still Vale? Oh, I am still Vale.
You're still Vale. Playing the part of Taliel will be M. Playing the part of Brilinya will be Connor.
It's all right. I'm still in love with Brilinya. It's cool. Like your beard.
Did your camera just cut out completely?
yeah, it just up and died.
Did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Twice.
Come on, you're not IT. You can do better than that.
Do you want to try booting out and booting back in?
Yeah, maybe go ahead, keep playing. I will.
All right, we'll keep going. You're still here. Yeah, I think by now people know who all is who. So yeah, you've succeeded in finding the appropriate lever, and have opened the 4th of 5 keyholes on the skeleton door. How would you like to proceed?
I guess go to the next one.
All that's left is the triangle door in the north.
Oh. Let's go then.
Let's see. That's the trial of the triangle. I'm just trying to find it. Oh, sorry, the square. You already did the triangle. All right. So this door facing northward has a square carved into it. Who would like to open it? Are you going to open it again, Taliel? Since you seem to have been doing this all along.
Yeah, if nobody else is going to, she'll absolutely.
So you open the door, and at a roughly 45-degree angle, the hallway extends for about 15 or 20 feet. opening into another one of these 15 by 15 rooms. This room is filled with sheets of flying parchment. You can see that there's writing on the pages as they flutter by. You can just see on the other side of the room as the pages are... I mean, it looks like that scene in Harry Potter when all of the letters come through the fireplace and they're flying all around the room. And let's go ahead real quick and have the three of you minus Mike turn off your cameras. Get you guys back in place. Glad you got your camera fixed. Actually, you could leave yours on, Kaeryn. And then M and Connor. So yeah, there's all of these sheets of paper, parchment, are flying all over the place. They have writing on them. On the far side, on the far wall to the north, is a metal plate bolted onto the wall. And in the middle of this metal plate is a ghostly looking lever.
Now, one thing I've noticed from all of these rooms is that there's something to do with the number of sides of this shape. We were just in the octagon and we had 8 pages, so this is the square room. I don't know if that's important at all, but it's just something I've noticed. So I'm sorry, there's a bunch of papers flying around,
Yep.
and there's that ghostly lever on a plaque on the back.
Yep. I would like Brilinya, make me a insight check and do it at advantage. And then I would like all of you minus Qualu to make perception checks. Actually, you know what? You can make that check too, Qualu.
Ooh, I got a natural 20.
Brilinya. This ghostly lever that is set into the north wall, you notice that its appearance has that same washed out sort of gray look that you saw when you were on the ethereal plane, when you used your ability in the oubliette.
Okay.
Interestingly, Mike, you're rolling a what did I say? Perception. Interestingly, depending on what Mike rolls, Qualu, you're the only one that seems to notice as all these papers are flying around. Each sheet of parchment appears as though it has arcanic writing on it, and each sheet of paper is most likely a spell. I imagine you notice this because one of the sheets just sort of gets caught on your face for a moment, and then before you can grab it, it just kind of goes, and you just see these sort of magical words on it, and it flits away.
Spells in the spell book, I think. Well, kind of shut out at these flying papers.
And that lever over there, it's not in this plane. But in a different one, kind of in between, I guess.
So what would you do? What would you all do with this knowledge? I mean, there's literally hundreds of pages just flying about your heads.
Brilinya would try to grab one.
Okay. You grab one. Roll me a d6.
Okay. 3.
All right. And then, hold on, this is really long. Why is it doing that? Okay, I'm just gonna, okay. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say go, and then sometime in the next 3 or 4 seconds, tell me stop. All right, go.
Stop.
All right, you have found a spell of 3rd level, fly. This is a spell scroll.
Oh. Interesting. Brilinya would kind of hold the paper. Is the paper? She would like test it, and she would like let it go. As soon as she like lets it go, does it flit away again, or does it now
Nope,
that she's
it just
holding
falls
it,
to
does
the
it...
floor. As soon as you let go of it, it just kind of drops to the floor. It's buffeted around a little bit by the wind of all the other flying spells, but whatever magic was making it fly around stops as soon as you grab it.
Okay. This is a spell.
What kind of spell?
Fly.
How very appropriate. Can we think of what we need to do here?
Well, I mean, I could go into the ethereal plane and perhaps interact with that lever, but the last time I did it, I saw one of the, and they saw me. They'll know, well, if they don't already, they probably already know where we are or what we're doing, but maybe they'll know especially now.
Yeah. What if
I could
how
try
high would
and
you say, how high would you say that lever is? Maybe I can misty step over to it.
Right. The only problem is it just looks like what I was in when I went to the ethereal. I'm not sure you'll be able to touch it.
True.
and just as Brilinya is saying that, I think Taliel would try again with the mage hand to see if that could potentially touch it.
So you summon the mage hand and reach out for the lever, and the mage hand just sort of keeps reaching through space, unable to grasp the ghostly lever.
It is as you expected, Brilinya.
Yeah. I'm not totally sure what this spell brings, but yeah, it seems like things are very different.
You said the last time they saw you when you went into that plane.
Well, I think that I saw her, she was speaking with me. Horrible things.
This is our last room. I don't know if that'll give us enough time, but and I think Taliel's going to try and grab another one of the spells. Maybe
right.
There's something here that'll help. And
Roll me a d6.
2.
All right, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
All right. You grab a piece of the parchment and you find a second level spell, and written on it is the title Dragon's Breath.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know if it'll help us, but and I think she'll pass it to Brilinya. Being the spellcaster and all.
All right, what's a second level spell scroll of Dragon's Breath? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Oh wait, I mean nobody's coming.
So I think that Berlin would make her way over to this. You said it was on a plaque. Is that right?
There's a metal plate embedded on the wall.
Plate.
And in the middle of this plate, the lever is the only thing that is ghostly.
Is there any writing on it or around, like in the area that Berlin can see?
One moment. There are no words written around it.
What do you guys think?
So at this point, Berlin is actually in the room, right? Standing by the wall, standing by the plaque. Maybe just do it as quick as you can, and then we can. I'm sure they already know we're here, but this will for sure tell them. But if we're quick.
Okay. All right. Brilinya is going to use one of the charges for etherealness. Is that what it? Sorry, my notes.
Yeah, I believe you
etherealness.
I believe you had 3 attempts that you could do total.
Yeah,
and
I
you
used one. Yeah, and so now I only have 1 left from the scroll bundle.
All right. So you're going to, in the midst of this room, you tap into the ability that Straw Bundle has granted you. You just sort of slowly transition. I imagine it cinematically as the camera sort of whips around you, the pages moving in the other direction. Everything suddenly sort of slows down. A single sheet, a single parchment with a spell on it passes in front of our view, and coincidentally we see that it's a spell scroll for etherealness. As it passes by, everything is in black and white, and we see just Brilinya standing in the midst. You see ghostly forms of your allies standing in the room, and all of these parchment pages are moving slowly, drifting by like ash almost in this room. And as you reach for the lever, your hand moves ever so slowly. I would like you to roll me any die. Roll me any die and tell me whether it's even or odd.
And roll a d12. Those are nice. I never get to roll them. 9. Odd.
As you reach for the lever, a face suddenly and arms sort of appear, moving at normal speed next to the wall, next to you by the lever. A horribly old woman looks at you. Around her neck, she wears several strings of children's teeth, and they make a continual clattering sound. You just hear this as she moves. You hear of these little children's teeth on these strings around her neck. As she moves, you hear thump, 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 and you see that she has a peg leg made of wood. She looks at you and opens a nearly toothless mouth and cackles at you. That's so close, my dear. And as she does so, yellow gas billows out of her nose and her ears and her mouth and just swirls around and suddenly caught up in this slow motion. The last of the trials, and it looks like you're the smart one who's figured it out. Oh, here it is, the lever you wish to pull. But what will happen when you do so? Please, please, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. And she fades back into etherealness, or out of etherealness.
I think Brilinya would like kind of close her eyes and scrunch up her face so tight, but I don't think that would even get rid of the vision of that horrible figure in front of her. And she, as quickly as this etherealness would let her, she grabs a hold of the lever, and if it's there, she would pull it.
It's like moving through, as if you're moving through mud. Every action is a will as you reach through this, and then you feel the solidity of this lever in the ethereal plane, and you pull down on it. And as you do so, the lever suddenly becomes incorporeal in your hand. The rest of you are standing in the swirling maelstrom of these spellbook pages when Brilinya just suddenly isn't there. And then you suddenly hear and you see the lever in the down position suddenly solid before you. Brilinya, do you attempt to come back from ethereal?
Oh, immediately. Yeah.
You do.
Oh, okay.
In an instant, suddenly Brilinya's there. One moment she's not, the next she's there. Your hand on the lever, you feel it solid as you are now corporeal in this room. From out in the open chamber, you hear and presumably the fifth and final keyhole to the skeleton door has been opened.
You did it, Brill. You okay?
You can see by her face, her eyes are wide. She just ever so slightly shakes her head. It was them again. They know that we're here. They know that this is our last test.
We should hurry then. I think without ado that Taliel would leave the room and go back down to stand in front of the skeleton door.
So, just as a reminder, you're in this room up in the upper northeast room, corner. You all come out through that hallway, leaving the swirling spellbook pages behind you. And as you come out and you're running along that gallery, you hear from the cage. You hear the rattling and sort of creaking of the iron bars, and the looky-like of Vale is in there with its deformed hands on the bar, shaking it, going, "It's too late! It's too late! It's too late! It's too late!" And Brilinya, straw bundle, where this doll sat sort of perched on your shoulder, you feel almost the prickliness of the straw, and maybe a couple of these rusty pins, their pinheads, though not sharp, sort of poking against your neck as it cuddles up next to you. Vale, or Qualu and Taliel, you feel the two dolls that you have sort of grabbing hold. The lid of the copper or brass cauldron goes flying off, clang, 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 across the floor, and this thick smoke starts billowing out of it. And you see it coalesce into three shapes. Two of them look very familiar to you, Brilinya, as you have met them in their ethereal forms. The first that coalesces is a large woman with a squirming leather sack sewn over her head, and out of a hole in the bag you see occasionally a cockerel, then a viper, then a terrier poking out. The next you see is this peg-legged old hag with the chattering teeth as it comes in, and you hear that ka-thunk, ka-thunk, ka-thunk as the teeth are chattering. And then a third form appears, a very thin, frail looking woman with gold tarnished coins over her eyes and what looks like moving tattoos all across her skull. But as she solidifies in front of you, and she's probably the closest to you, you realize those aren't tattoos. There are lines of ants marching across her skull, in through her nostrils, out through the corners of her eyes, in through her ears, out of the corner of her mouth, always moving in, out, and around. And when we return from break, I will have you all roll for initiative as you face off against the Sohn sisters. All right. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in already and is hanging out with us. Thank you to, I just realized I left that on the map. That's fine. It was all audio anyway. Verbal descriptions. We will be back in just about 10 minutes. We're going to take a short rest. Use this time to refresh your beverages. Use the restroom if you have to. And when we come back, it's rolling for initiative time. We'll see you on the other side. And we are back. And while we were on the break, the players all rolled initiative. I rolled initiative. And Vale, you are going to be at the top of the order. The three Sohn sisters are all standing in a way that they're imposing themselves between all of you and the skeleton gate, kind of filling that north or south side of the room.
Question, shouldn't it be Taliel? Because she got a 24.
Hold on a second. I think you're right. It might help if I actually look at the order in the combat tracker. Yes. It had scrolled upwards and it was hiding Taliel. So
tabletop RPGs are all about making stuff up.
Right.
You know, we roll and then the dice don't matter. You know, it's just whatever.
There you go. I have you roll initiative and I just make up the initiative order. You know what? All the hags go first. Taliel. Same thing I said to Mike, but yeah, you see the three hags all standing there. As a reminder, you have the one who is very thin with the gold coins on her eyes and the ants crawling around her skull. You have the one with the peg leg and the chattering children's teeth, and you have the heavy-set woman with the bag over her head.
They all sound horrifying, honestly. So,
And they should.
I am going to load and shoot my longbow. I'm going to aim for the middle one, the one standing in the middle of the three sisters. And
So the one with the chattering teeth and the peg leg.
yeah. Okay, so I no longer have the disadvantage on stuff. I have advantage on strength checks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And you have a single D6 that you can use on any one skill check, ability check, saving throw, or attack roll.
Okay. I rolled a 23 to hit with the first arrow.
Fairly certain that is going to hit. It will.
Okay. And this is a magical arrow by nature of
Yes, I do need to know
abilities.
types, and I need you to separate out your damage types for me.
Okay. So as this arrow shoots out from the bow, not only is it kind of glowing with this magical energy, but it's also kind of making a weird humming noise. And when it hits the hag in the middle, it also will burst. And any creature within 10 feet of that will take this force damage as well. So the amount of force damage that all of the creatures will take will be 9. And then the arrow will do
9 is the force damage to all of them?
Yeah. And the wrong one. The longbow is going to do 11 magical piercing. And that's going to be followed quickly by 2 more arrows for the middle one, which will be a 26 and a 26.
All right, those are gonna both hit. Those are both gonna hit. That didn't sound right.
So that's for.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Because there's 3 of them. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything in there. So it was 9 to all 3 of them, and then the one you targeted took an additional 11 magical piercing. Okay, perfect.
Okay. And then she's going to take another 11 piercing and another 10 piercing.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to stay where I am up above on the gallery up there, where I've got a nice shots down.
Okay. Next in the order will be Vale.
Question: how close are these sewn sisters together? Like, how are they? Like 5 feet
I would
apart,
say
20
so.
feet
Let's
apart?
let's take a look at the map again real quick, and I'll remember to move it back if I need to. So they're pretty much at the bottom of the stairs. Sort of in. I would say that they're all within about 5 feet of each other right now.
Okay. Looking, I reach into my pocket and I pull out what looks to be a small black marble. Shrug my shoulders and I throw it right at the middle of the group of them. And I'm using that bead of force I found yonks ago that I didn't quite forget about it. So I can, I'm using an action. I can throw the bead up to 60 feet. The bead explodes on impact and is destroyed. Each creature within a 10-foot radius of where the bead landed must succeed on a dexterity saving throw, DC 15, or take some damage.
Dexterity saving throw. All right, let's see. This is going to be 1. Okay. That is a 8, a 12, and a 22.
Okay. One of them makes it. Give me a second here. So the 2 that don't make it, first off, take 13 points of force damage, and they are trapped in a sphere of transparent force, which encloses the area for 1 minute. They're trapped inside the sphere. Creatures that succeeded on the save are pushed away from the center of the sphere until they are no longer inside it. Only breathable air can pass through the sphere's walls. No attack or other effect can. So I assume that they can't really do anything except for the one hag, which would probably be a lot easier to kill.
All right,
I
so
will smile at myself in smug self-satisfaction.
does the one that succeeded take any damage?
Does not say. No, because it is a dexterity saving throw or take 5d4.
Okay,
So in other words, I think that's a, yeah.
Yep, I see it. I see it now. All right, so that's your action, and you've trapped the one with the bag over her head, and you've trapped the one with the peg leg and the children's teeth.
Okay with that. It's gross. Who carries around children's teeth? It's demonstrable. And then that's my action.
Okay. Brilinya, you're up next.
So Brilinya raises a hand towards one of them. I think the one with the bags, or the bag. And her stance, her hand gesture is very different from what she usually exudes. It just looks very different. It's much darker, and in fact, you would not see this ethereal light coming from Brilinya's hand as you usually do with the glow, but instead you would see something very similar to that of when she drank that water from the fountain, and the black veins, you could see them as very, very similar, as if when she did so, something from the tomb never really left, and is always present even now. And this necrotic energy comes crackling out of her hands. And I think even it surprises her, having this dark energy, and this thing has to make a Constitution saving throw.
So you're casting at the one with the tarnished gold coins on her eyes, and you're using. Are you casting a spell?
Yes, Finger of Death.
What level is the spell?
7th.
All right. So that is a. So that would be a DC of 17.
20.
No, it's not. Sorry.
Oh.
As you're casting this, the hag begins moving her hand counter to your spell casting and is attempting to counterspell you. So because it's a 7th level spell, it's a DC 17, and she has to make a spellcasting modifier. She has a +7, and I rolled a 9, so she gets a 16. She fails her counter spell. So you see, whatever it is that you're doing, she looks over to her sister's trapped, and then realizes you're casting and too late starts to counterspell it. And she needs to make a Constitution saving throw, you said?
Yeah, DC 20.
All right. Let me see what her con is. All right. Let me grab one of my new dice, courtesy of Roleplay Lead. I would like to use a domain die. No, that's that is a 10. She fails.
So I rolled the damage, and this is hilarious. She takes 69 points of necrotic
Nice.
damage.
Nice. That's perfect for this episode.
We just won
Hilarious.
D&D, guys.
I know.
Rolled 69 damage against the big bad of the episode. 69.
That's amazing.
All right, let me see what I can do to take this victory away from you. Immune to necrotic. No, I'm just kidding. So she's gonna take 69 points. 69 dead. All right, yeah. So what does it look like when this necrotic energy hits her? How does it affect her?
I imagine I imagine that it looks the same as what it had looked like in Brilinya, kind of these black spidery veins coursing beneath the skin, except these ones don't go away as quickly as Brilinya was kind of using this tomb dark magic to affect this thing, as it almost looks like it is absorbed into this thing's skin and causes agony.
And you see her as it's almost like that the dark energy as she was trying to cast it away, counterspell it, like her hands get caught in this necrotic energy and it starts wending its way up her arm and she starts screaming out, "No, sisters, save me, no!" And is that the end of your turn, first of all?
That is, yes.
As she says this, you see the two trapped in this sphere of force look frightened at Vale, who placed them there. And you hear that sort of boom, 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 as they're pounding desperately against the wall. And then all of a sudden they go, boom. And you don't hear them, but they look at you, Vale, and both of them just go, and they go, and they disappear, leaving the one all alone. And oh, let's see, what is she going to do? She is going to she looks at you, Brilinya, and still sort of wringing her hand from this necrotic energy. "You are going to pay for this." And she reaches up and she looks as though she's tearing with her claws at the fabric of reality. and you see what looks like static electricity, and she draws her hands back and forth doing this as you see more and more electricity coalescing, and then she goes and shoots straight at you, Brilinya. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Remember that you would get a bonus if you're near me to save throws.
And what is that bonus?
Well, I'm not ready yet. Hang on. Jeez. Gosh. Oh, no, it would be features. You silly bugger. Here we are. While I am conscious, I grant all friendly creatures, including me, a +4 bonus to all saving throws. Also, if this is going to be a spell that's going to cause you damage, you also have resistance to damage from spells, period. And on a third note, now I don't know how you want to do this, Jake, but any creature that failed the save is trapped inside the sphere. But it says only breathable air can pass through the sphere's walls. No attack or other effect can. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be, that also includes teleportation magic.
They didn't
and
teleport.
No?
Nope.
Okay. That, like I said, I don't want to be spoiled or anything, or I don't want to risk any of that. But just
I looked at it.
Okay. I was a little bit confused about it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm like, what does that even mean? Yeah,
I generally, with all of these things that you guys are, when you use them, I'm pulling them up as well so I can double check.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like giving a 3-year-old a Sawzall and is like, yeah, you can figure this out. And that's what it's like when you give a player, like, here's a random magic item you found. I hope you don't die by using it, you know?
Right. Basically, what it means is technically they would be able to teleport through. They didn't use teleportation, but they can't cast spells out of it at you. They can't pass. They can't make ranged attacks from inside it. Any of that kind of thing. So, Brilinya, with your bonus, what did you get on your dex save?
With the bonus, I got a 16.
All right. The DC was 15, so you succeed. So you'll take half of 8d6 lightning bolt damage. And you're resistant to it, so you'll take half again of that. So you'll take 1/4 of what I roll. Level 14, people. So I rolled 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, a whole bunch of 2s. So I rolled 20, so you're going to take 5. As this lightning bolt just misses you, and even then, the crackling energy seems to do almost nothing to you. So that's that one. The other 2 have used their action to do whatever they did to disappear. Qualu, you are up. That's right, Dr. Faust Painting Clinics in chat says I'm rolling children's teeth.
Yummy.
Which you don't hear the clattering of the children's teeth right now because that hag is gone.
So there is the one hag that is visible, right? Because the other 2 poofed?
Correct.
Just the other way around. Okay.
The one with the tarnished gold coins and the ants crawling on her skull. And for the ease of this, and just because they're cool, there's no reason for you not to know their names now. Previously there was. The one with the gold coins on her head, and we're going to say that the dolls tell you their names at this point. The Widow Groat is the one with the gold coins and the one who is still there. Peggy Deadbells is the one with the children's teeth. And Baggy Nana is the one with the leather bag over her head. So Widow Groat is the only one currently visible. Baggy Nana and Peggy Deadbells disappeared.
So Widow Brooch shall get the full fury of Qualu's goat of striking. I mean, staff of striking. That's fitting. The goat man fights the widow goat. That's going to be... Goodness, I forgot how my character works. Hello, features. Here we go. Okay. So that's going to be a 17 to hit, and then a 13 to hit. Oh, sorry, no. Oh, this is... Never mind. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 17 or 13 for the first 2 hits.
The 17 will hit. The 13 will miss. And it's not so much that it misses as with that one. I'm going to say with your 13 is as you bring the staff of striking down to hit, she just goes and grabs it and tosses it aside. Not like away, but sort of pushes your attack away. But then you're able to strike her just barely. How much damage do you do?
So those are his first 2, and then it's a 21 and then 18 to hit. So that'll be 3 hits, right?
Yeah, sorry, you had a 17, a 13, and a what?
Then a 18 and a 21.
Oh, yeah. So you got 3 hits.
Yeah. Okay, so now we do the damage.
Yep.
All right. That's going to be 26 for the first hit. 21 for the second hit.
Say the first hit again.
26.
All right, 26, 21.
And then 23. 3 hits.
Wait. All right, I got to check something real quick. 21, 26, and 23.
Correct.
And... Oh, wait, your staff is magical, right?
Yeah, magical bludgeoning damage.
26 and 23. Yeah, so she stops that one hit, and then you just wail on her. And you knock a couple teeth loose. I'm going to say that with that bigger hit and the final hit, you just sort of smack it up against her skull. Some of the ants that are crawling around there go flying, and you hear this sort of ting, 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 as one of the gold coins over her eyes goes flying, and it reveals an empty eye socket. Well, there's no eye in there. It's not empty because it's literally a swarming mass of ants where her eye would be. So that's your 4 attacks?
Yep, that's my 4 attacks.
All right. It is back to Taliel. And so far it's still only the Widow Groat.
So then Taliel is going to shoot 3 arrows at this Widow Groat.
Let's see.
So I rolled 3 dice, and they all rolled 11 on the die, which is hilarious. So that's 22, 22, and 22.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. You know it's an issue when your DM is frantically checking all of the monster spells for reactions. Yep, all 3 of those are hits.
Okay, so that will be 11 magical piercing, 8 magical piercing, and 13 magical piercing.
Your arrows go flying across the room. With each one, she's staggering back another few feet. And you send that last one flying, and it pierces right through her skull where that swirling mass of ants was, and embeds in the banister of the gallery. Thunk, and her body just goes and just slumps with the arrow holding her up, as you have killed the widow Groat. You do not see the other two hags. Is that the end of your turn, Taliel? Vale,
Yes, that's the end of mine.
it's your turn. You do not currently see any sign of Peggy Deadbells or Baggy Nana. So, anything in particular you want to do? Do you want to hold an action, or what do you want to do? Can you hear me, Vale?
You say something?
It's
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I'm having a. Give me one quick sec here.
Can you hear me now?
Aha! There we go. For some reason, my earbud decided that it was didn't want to work anymore. So I apologize for that.
So
All right.
it's your turn. You don't see the other two hags. We're still in initiative order. What would you like to do?
I'll look at the others and say, they might still be there in the sphere. So I'm gonna wait for the the beat of force to dissipate, like the sphere. Like just when it's just about to end, I'm gonna cast Moonbeam right over where the sphere is.
All right. So there's basically another 48 seconds left on the sphere. Vale is basically holding Moonbeam for when the sphere dissipates. Brilinya, what are you going to do?
Brilinya has some of the keys, correct? The skeleton keys. I think she has at least one. So she's going to make her way to the door.
Okay. So, yeah, you're close enough that you can make your way to the door. And you can use an action, because these are pretty big items. It's going to be more than just an object interaction. It'll take an action to put a key into it and activate that key. So, which key are you putting in?
The triangle.
Okay. So you clearly can see what shape it fits in, and you press it in, and it almost magnetically pulls in, and you hear this something inside the door release. You also let's see. You also need to make a wisdom saving throw.
That is a 13.
Brilinya, as you lock the key into place, you turn around to look at the others, perhaps, and maybe just the beginning of a smile of satisfaction playing at the corner of your mouth. And that's when the others of you see, outside of the sphere, appearing from the ethereal plane, Peggy Deadbells suddenly appears right next to Brilinya. And you hear the Brilinya, you hear the chattering children's teeth. And suddenly, Brilinya turns into a butterfly. You have been polymorphed into a butterfly. Yeah, so whatever a butterfly's intelligence is, that is now your intelligence. And I'm pretty sure a butterfly only has 1 hit point. And I'm going to say that the hag just sort of goes like this. Make me a dexterity saving throw real quick, Brilinya.
I have to use the butterfly stats, right?
Yes. Is there a butterfly in the monster manual? I don't think so.
There's a giant butterfly in the monster manual.
I'm going to say that as a butterfly, I'm going to give you a +2 to dexterity.
Okay. That is a 15.
All right. So I'm going to roll against that. All right. You, in your butterfly form, just naturally, you sort of do that jerky flying around and like zigzagging, not jerky like what a jerk, but those jerky butterflies. As the hag does reach out and try to trap you in its claws, in its hand, and it just misses you. That is Peggy Deadbells. Baggy Nana appears on the far side of the room. And Vale, I need you to it's jumping all over the place. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Vale.
That's a dirty 20.
And let me see. Let's see what these things. So that's level 2, 3, 4, 5. Qualu and Taliel, you also need to make a wisdom saving throw. Vale, you succeed.
Yay.
I got a 21.
You
Wisdom
also
saving throw.
succeed.
So I use the D6 thingy to make sure I will pass this one. And I got a 21 total.
Curses. Or rather, not curses. As you all succeed in avoiding the paralyzing effects of Baggy Nana's hold person as she was attempting to hold all of you. Qualu, it is your turn. There is now Peggy Deadbells is now over by the door next to Brilinya, or Butterfly Linya. Butterlinya.
Yeah.
And then on the far northern side of the room is Baggy Nana.
I'm going to go to the Peggy Deadbells to help free Brilinya fly from her curse with my smackings of my goat staff, my goater staff.
The way it works is just remove curse, remove curse.
Yeah, exactly. So that is a 22 to hit,
Aye.
and then a 20, and then a 10,
10 misses.
and then a 25. So it's again 3 hits.
Yep, 3 hits, 1 miss.
That's going to be 23, 19, and 21. damage against this creature. And that is the extent of my turn. Grand total of 63 damage.
All right. Yeah. You wail on her pretty good. Knocking her about the head and shoulders with your staff of striking. And
remove curse.
yeah, screaming out, remove curse. And that's going to take us back to Taliel at the top of the order.
Seeing Kualu engage with dealing with Peggy Dead Bells, right? That's one. She's going
Did
after.
you say Piggy Dead Bells?
Yeah, Peggy. I said Peggy. She's going to go after the other one. I'm confused. Did we finish off the one with the coins?
Yes, Widow Groat is dead.
Okay, yeah. So then she's going to go after the
Baggy
Nana.
Baggy Nana is the one who reappeared at the north side of the room.
Yeah, so I'm going to loose 3 arrows upon her.
Very well.
Okay, so that is a 30, 30, and 23.
Yeah, those are all hits.
Sweet. Okay. So, 13 piercing, magical piercing, 13 magical piercing, and 14 magical piercing.
13, 14. All right, arrows sinking in, doing their damage.
Yeah.
As quick as you're puncturing her with these arrows, she just seems to snap them off without a care, just swatting at them and breaking them. They've definitely done damage. You can see this thick black blood seeping from the wounds.
Yeah, and noticing that, like Talia notices that she is out of arrows at this point. So, as a movement, she's going to. You said the north end of the room?
Yes.
How far down? Is it like 15 feet to the ground?
You mean from the gallery?
Yeah.
No, it's only 10 feet down.
Talia would like to jump over and down so that she could close in on the woman.
Yeah, I'll say that you'd be able to do that, and you have enough movement, you'd be able to get right up to her.
Perfect.
If that is your wish.
That is my wish, yes.
Very well. Vale. It is now your turn. Baggy Nana is at the north end of the room, and Peggy Deadbells is at the south end, having just turned Brilinya into a butterfly.
All right, so who's engaged with Peggy Deadbells?
Qualu.
Okay, and then
Taliel just closed the distance and is now, after shooting Baggy Nana full of arrows, has jumped the railing and run up to her.
Okay. Then I'll go and engage with Peggy Deadbells, and I will make an attack. Oops. So I'm sure I can close the distance, right?
Oh yeah, no problem.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, this room isn't so big that you can't get anywhere you want within it.
Okay.
That was a weird way to say that. You can get anywhere you want in this room.
Hey, and that's the power of positive thinking. I like that. So that's a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
You sure? Because I mean, it's probably, it's touch and go.
It's a hit.
So I will use a first level spell slot for Divine Smite. So the first part of the damage, 15 points of magical piercing. Also, gotta just where are you? No, there it is. And then and then 9 points of radiant damage. No, sorry, 8 points of radiant damage.
All right, say the damage again.
So 15 points of magical piercing.
All right, hold on. I'm
And
going to get on the right page again. 15
magical piercing.
Piercing, okay.
And 8 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Okay.
And then I will attack her again. Which is a 19 to hit.
Yep, that's a hit.
Okay. And then it'll be 14 points of magical piercing. And 5 points of radiant damage.
14 and 5. All right. All right.
And that will be my turn.
Excellent. Brilinya.
So when Brilinya was polymorphed, would it mean that straw bundle would have just kind of fallen to the
Straw
floor?
bundle would be considered in your possession, and because it's technically an inanimate object, it would have polymorphed along with you.
Okay. So then Brilinya continues to flutter about.
And I made a mistake, and I'm not going to retcon it, but going forward, Taliel, your attacks against the two remaining hags are at disadvantage. That was my mistake. It is a part of the curse of having eaten the food that you ate. Vale, you have disadvantage against Baggy Nana, but you're engaging with Peggy Deadbells. A lot of things. My sheet, I have so many codes scribbled on here based on who ate what food, which hag does what, which doll is whose possession. So yeah, I forgot that. I'm not going to retcon it, but going forward, you will have those disadvantages. So yeah, Brilinya, what are you doing then? In butterfly
Fluttering.
form.
Continuing to flutter.
Where are you
Probably pestering everyone.
All right. I'm going to say that a butterfly has an extremely low armor class.
Probably fair.
We're going to call it a 10 just for fun. So as you're fluttering around and you get caught in some of the buffeted by all of the whirling attacks happening around you, and from up on the gallery to the west, as you flutter a bit close to the railing, a hand reaches out and snatches you carefully in thin fingers. Qualu, Vale, and Taliel, all make me perception checks at disadvantage. I don't have your passive perceptions up here, or I would use those. So just make me passive at perception at disadvantage.
30, 20.
Dirty 20. What'd you get, Qualu?
8.
Vale?
Man, oh man, I just can't online today. Sorry, what was the check again?
Perception.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be. Hey, not bad. 21.
Qualu doesn't notice, but Taliel and Vale, you notice from out of one of the rooms, a figure had come, and you recognize him. The thin, well-dressed man from the room with the feast. But in the moment, as he reaches out and grabs Butterfly Brilinya and holds her in his hand, he seems to transform a bit. And you see that his true form is not that of a human, but that of a scarecrow. As straw fingers are wrapped around Brilinya's form. So Brilinya, you are grappled as much as a butterfly can be grappled. And this scarecrow has taken you out of the air and is running along the gallery to the north edge, leaps over the railing, and that's as far as he can get in this turn. He is making trying to make an exit. So that then takes us to boom, boom, boom. I have so many D&D Beyond tags open. All right, so Widow Groat is dead. This is Baggy Nana, who Taliel has run directly up to her. And as you do so, let's see. Out of one of the holes in the leather bag on her head, a terrier pokes its head out and sort of barks and yips in your face, Taliel. Spittle flying from the angry barking. And she is going to swing her hands around in front of your face. What the heck did I just do? Okay. Like this, and you hear that barking, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. It will be at disadvantage because you have disadvantage against both of these.
That is a 16. Because I'm not close enough to Vale, right?
No, you're on the opposite side of the room from Vale. Well, shit. Nothing happens. You succeed. So basically, the dog barks. She waves her hand in front of you, and then sort of does it again, and nothing happens. You guys are dominating these Sown sisters. Let's see. Down at the corner where Vale and Qualu are with Peggy Deadbells and her clattering teeth. Let's try this one. It's an act of desperation. As let's see, that one didn't work. So I gotta see how many targets I can do. Okay, you watch, both of you in front of you, as Peggy Deadbell's eyes turn inky black, and Vale. You need to make me a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 16.
You succeed. So,
I'm not gonna lie, I was holding my breath a little bit there.
for this turn, nothing happens, but her eyes stay this inky blackness as she stares at you. So that is nothing happening to you. Qualu, it is your turn. Oh, wait. Son of a... I gotta check something. I might have just made a mistake. I mean, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm not gonna retcon it. But, yep. I need to make a quick check for somebody. All right, that's good enough. Brilinya, you are no longer a butterfly because Peggy Deadbells cast another concentration spell. To do this, they seem to be getting desperate, but you are still grappled. Actually, make me a strength check. We'll do that to see how you do against. He rolled really well, but let's see how you do.
I got a 0.
Chat's paying attention because right off the bat, Cole Sparks is like, "Is she grappled still?" You got a 0.
Yes.
Oh, then you're definitely still grappled. You come back into your present form. You find yourself near the door, and a spindly, scratchy scarecrow, not unintentional alliteration, has you wrapped in its straw-like arms and is dragging you, attempting to drag you through the door. But yeah, Qualu, you are up.
All right. Peggy Deadbells is gonna get smacked.
Go for it. Do your worst.
Okay. A crit. No, I'm kidding. It's gonna be a 17 to hit, a 14 to hit. Sorry, 15.
Hit, miss.
17, 15. Okay. Then a 25 and a 23.
3 hits and a miss.
All right. That's my
That's Qualu's
pattern so far.
Qualu's special move.
23 for the first one. 22 for the second one.
How do you kill her?
I think that there's like a bring it, kind of just like she's not very scared of me. And I kind of come in and just knock her aside, push her into the wall. And you said there's like a cauldron bubbling in the room, right? I think that I swat her almost like baseball bat style, and she kind of gets tossed through the room and lands in the cauldron, or in the fluids of the cauldron, and gets dissolved by that, probably the noxious goop that's in it.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah, she gets just slammed into it. There's kind of a splattering as she's knocked backwards into this, or head first into this, and just sort of ends up she's way bigger than what should fit in this, but she disappears into the cauldron and is no more. Taliel, in front of you is Baggy Nana. Immediately, the one second, I gotta check something just to be sure. Let's see. All right, so as soon as Peggy Deadbells is knocked into the cauldron, Baggy Nana, you see the terrier sort of goes, and you hear a voice coming from the terrier's mouth to Leo. Please, 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 no. Wait. I'll make a deal with you. And then suddenly the head disappears and a snake's head pops out. Yes, a deal for our life, a bargain. We'll tell you what you need to know. And then that disappears and the cockerel's head comes out. We'll tell you how to get out of here. There is only one way and we hold the secret. You'll never succeed if you kill all three of us. Spare us and we'll tell you our secrets. Taliel, what are you going to do? And her posture is completely one of hands up, very sort of crouching.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So she's posturing like, don't hit me. What's the skeleton-y, scarecrowy dude doing? With
off to your left, it seems to be wrestling with Brilinya, attempting to drag her away.
Tell him to let her go now, or I will run you through, and I will have drawn my
Yes, what you need.
longsword.
Mr. Threadneedle, stop where you are. Release her at once. The scarecrow immediately stops and puts its hands back, and Brilinya, you're free. See? We want only to survive. We'll tell you what you need to know. Please, don't kill us.
And so Taliel, without looking away, she's going to have her longsword out and kind of pointed at this woman, well, this creature, and Vale, ask her.
Yes, Vale, ask us whatever you will. We'll tell you the answer, but first, you must swear, all of you, upon your mortal souls, that you will not harm me. Then I'll tell you what secrets lie ahead and how you can leave this tomb forever. And it's not a trick. You can leave for real this way. But you must swear to me on your mortal souls that you will not go back on your word. You will let me live. And I will not harm you.
All right.
Say you swear it.
I will, on another condition. That you will not harm us, you will not go back on your word, you will not do anything that would be tricksy.
That's what I said. That was the terms of the deal. I will honor my end if you honor yours. Say that you swear on your soul, and I will not harm you. I will tell you what you need to know, and we will go our separate ways. You've already killed my sisters.
I swear on my soul that I will not harm you.
A deal is struck from you, and what of you? Fair-haired one. And she looks over at you, Brilinya. Will you swear upon your mortal soul? If you kill me, your chances of ever getting out of here are next to none. He will have your souls for himself. Say you swear it, and I will tell you what you need to know.
I swear on my mortal soul that I will not harm you if the information that you give us proves useful.
I have already told you the information will be useful. I will not go back on my deal. Remove your condition.
I will not. If you had already set the terms to your condition, then I am
will be honored. If you swear to it, then I swear to it, and it is a magically binding deal.
Then you should have no fear for the condition that I have set.
If the condition is set, the magic will not bind our deal. I cannot trust you if you put a condition upon it. Say you swear on your soul, I will tell you how to leave this place. I'll tell you of this secret of the lab. I will tell you the secret that I know.
We live a lot.
And I will not harm you.
We will lead alive.
You will not die by my hand, nor any tricks by my hand.
Brilinya like squids. Like this is so like like the words are just very.
You can insight check her if you want.
Yeah, she's gonna do that. They just seem very finagled.
Imagine not trusting a hag.
I'm gonna use a domain die because that was a nat 1. So. Okay. And that's insight. 21.
She seems to speak with conviction. She has an air about her, as much as you can tell. She seems to have an air about her that she seems genuinely offended that you were putting conditions. That if she's talking of making a magical deal, that she holds this to be an important thing.
Can Brilinya sense any like trying to use her words to get around it in some way? Or does she?
You don't sense there doesn't seem to be any double speak taking place. She seems to be speaking pretty straightforward, with no real hidden meanings in what she's saying that you can detect.
Okay. Deep breath then. Fine. I swear on my mortal soul.
That's 2 of you, but what of the angry elf and the green one, who bleats like a goat?
I think Taliel, listening to this interplay between Brilinya and this hag, and then hearing Brilinya say what she has, I swear on my soul.
And what of you, goat boy? Will you swear upon your soul?
Connor?
Paulo gives like a scowl, a rumble. His eyes kind of dart back to the other characters. Maybe.
Maybe is not definite. The others have agreed. My word is binding, and I will stand by my word. I will reveal my secrets. I will tell you how to leave this place, and then we will go our separate ways.
Qualu promises not to harm you while you are divulging secrets.
You tried to play clever with the words. This is not a game you are fit for.
I am quite fit. See these muscles.
Say the words you swear upon your soul.
The words you swear upon your soul. There, I have said them.
Swear upon your soul. Oh, we are back where we started.
Just do it, Qualu. It'll be fine.
Upon your soul, we are back where we started. He's.
I don't know how you can stand to travel with this one.
On that, we're agreed.
Qualu has said, and he will say again, Qualu will not harm you while you are divulging secrets.
Repeat these words. I swear upon my soul I will not harm you. Say it.
I will not harm you unless you harm us.
Always with these conditions.
Qualu met a man once who liked to trick Qualu with wordplay. From that day on, Qualu said, no, Qualu will never be tricked by words. Qualu will study all of the words. Qualu will be a philosopher. That is why Qualu is such a thinking person. We had one man from 16 years ago in Qualu's backstory that only come up now.
It's so very fitting that at that moment your microphone went very muffled. So it had that effect of like Baggy Nana just trailed off. Like it literally was like you were like, he once met a man and I won't be tricked again. Oh man, you guys just earned yourself another domain die as How Nerd just raided the channel. Thank you for the raid.
Are you done playing your games?
The only game I play is that of the truth. Qualu will not harm you unless you harm Qualu.
And I said there will be no conditions or the magic will not work. It goes both ways. If you're not bound to my magic, then I'm not bound to the magic. The other three cannot harm me.
Then do not divulge your secrets to Qualu, and Qualu will make no bind to you. That is a good idea.
And how would I tell my secrets to the others?
Qualu can put fingers in ear and go la la la.
Just do it.
Qualu does not
stop
like
being so stubborn.
magic-y things. Qualu is stubborn.
Oh, I
You're
know.
asking a mountain to move. Qualu will stick hands in ears and go la la la.
Look, can I just swear to it by proxy or something? Is there something?
Yes. Vale can co-sign this pact for me.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You would swear upon his soul.
Tell you what, if he attacks you, I'll stab him. Believe me, I've been looking for a reason for at least 25 sessions now.
I see the magic to be good. I will tell you my secrets.
Thank you. What
And
lies
then-
beyond
and then
that?
we will part our ways, never to be
Yes.
seen again.
Yes, we will. Now, what lies beyond that door?
The first secret, hidden on this level, is a library of lost lore. It is guarded by an Arcanoloth, whose true name is Yigaraxic.
Gesundheit?
I'm going to put that name in the chat for you, in our side chat. And I'll throw it in the chat so that they can see this clever anagram.
There is only one way that you will leave this dungeon. The Ebon Pool. Charred bones point the way.
Wait, charred bones line the way.
Charred bones point the way.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You speak funny. And what of Acerarak? Where is he? They.
The
Where are they?
red trail leads to death. I have
I think at this
divulged
point-
my secrets and the magic has been completed. The pact has been upheld.
Fine. Sod off then.
She shifts out of existence.
Brilinya has been writing down her words in Cole's journal.
And I will transfer those words to you.
Okay.
As unless anybody wants to magically stop her, because she did cast a spell. She is going to plane shift out of this plane.
I just have a feeling that breaking that word is a terrible, terrible idea. So I would say, hey, let's let her go. Let the next group of adventurers fight her.
All right. So she was very specific in the things she told you. She did not specifically answer any questions. Also, Brilinya, standing next to you, looking very suddenly nervous and out of place, is Mr. Threadneedle, the scarecrow who was left behind. As he just sort of takes a step back, and you hear this sort of as he kind of scratches his head.
Brilinya wants to just take a step forward and just boo.
And as you do that, you see he had one hand was sort of kind of behind his back. And as you go boo, he sort of startles back and you see something drop to the floor from behind him. Just go. It hits the floor with a soft thud. It is a leather satchel.
Hey, wait a minute. Scarecrow, sort of. Don't you have a key to that cage?
It looks over at you and reaches around into its straw and pulls out a rusty key and holds it up.
Well, go open that gate then. Go on, open the cage.
It walks across the room and opens the cage.
All right. Well, shit. I don't know. Now what? Anybody hungry?
Could we
Go fetch us something.
Could we take a small rest?
No, that's a good idea. Scarecrow, is there any food and water that's not tainted and disgusting? Or cursed?
I have to check something. It just points at the room where the feast is.
All right, never mind. We're good. What do we do with them? Anybody?
He kind of looks at you and points at his chest and then points at the door. Like,
I mean, we could let him go. Oh, we could see if he's flammable. Do you think he'd catch on fire really easily? Oh, charades. I like charades.
Brilinya would go to the satchel that he had dropped.
good, chat's yelling at you. Somebody pick up the leather bag.
Yeah, she would pick it up.
All right. Inside the bag, you find two things. One, there is what appears to be an eyeball coated in varnish. And as you sort of open up the bag and look at it, it seems to move of its own accord. But it seems as if the way it's moving seems almost frantic. And it doesn't seem to react to any movement or anything. It's as if it can't see. But there is another item in there, and it is a small black pearl.
Brilinya would show the others what is in the satchel.
That pearl almost looks like the bead of force that I had. Wonder what it is exactly.
The 3 dolls seem to, as everything is sort of calmed down, they seem to sort of come out of the their various hiding places on your bodies of those of you that have them. And Straw Bundle says to you, Brilinya, sort of peering down into the bag as you hold it, that is their hag eye. The eyeball. You must close the bag at once. If the hag is on this plane with you, it can see everything through that eye. If you destroy it, they can't see through it. They had to do a special ritual to make that. That is an ebon marble. We heard them talking about it. They only had a couple among them, and they used them in some pool. They said it's how, by casting the marble into the pool, they could go to the surface, out into the real world.
That's handy. It's very, very handy, Brilinya says, and she would take out the eye. Do you think we should destroy this?
It might hurt her, and then I wouldn't risk that. I would just put it back in the bag and, I don't know, hide it somewhere. But take the marble.
Okay, Brilinya is going. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Brilinya is going to take the marble out and put the eye in the back in the satchel, and she's gonna throw it in a corner somewhere.
And then Taliel's gonna go to, I guess, one of the hag bodies and start checking to see if there's another satchel or something.
You're throwing it in the corner, Brilinya?
Yep.
I want you to roll me a percentile die. We are going to do a... I'm going to say because of the fact that you put it back in the satchel, the percentage is only going to be 20. There's a 20% chance that throwing it is enough to damage it.
Oh dear.
So I'm going to do my roll. So we use our sliding scale. So I've rolled a number. If you get within 10 on either side of this number, then the hag eye breaks.
I got a 7.
I rolled a 50. It lands with a soft thud in the corner, and as far as you can tell, it does not break. That's probably best for you. All right. So how would you like to proceed? You've put one of the keys in. The hags are all dead.
I want to search a hag.
All right. yeah, all of the hags, or rather 2 of the hags are there. Let me find them again. Where are my hags? Where are my hags at? All right. So let's see, that was Baggy Nana that took off. So searching the bodies, you find the Widow Groat carries a iron ring with 8 keys. Which seem to, the only key that seems to do anything is the same key that Mr. Threadneedle had to unlock the looky-like. She also carries a I have to keep jumping around to see what these things are. She carries a heartstone. And she carries a... God bless it. Where is it? All right. Here we go. She carries a heartstone, which is a lustrous black gem. And she has a bag that I'm going to say that the dolls are telling you what these things are. The bag is a soul bag. The hags use these to capture souls when they kill certain creatures. Usually creatures that are sacrificed. So there's much evil that emanates around these bags. I mean, it's literally, you realize that the bag is made of some kind of flesh. Peggy Deadbells has her string of chattering children's teeth, her peg leg. She has a pouch made from what appears to be gnome skin, and inside it are another heartstone and 5 more of these black marbles. She also has a soul bag around her belt.
So I'm thinking Taliel's going to take the heartstones and the marbles, but she would like to, I think, destroy the 2 soul bags and the gnome skin bag, unless somebody will stop her, but she doesn't want those around anymore.
So what are you going to do with them?
With the soul bags, I think she's just going to take a dagger and like slice them, hoping to destroy any magic that they have.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm going to say that you are able to cut these, but when you do cut into them, they bleed.
Ew, okay.
The only other place you see that makes sense would be the cauldron that, and I'm going to say you found these items nearby, because now that I think about it, Peggy Deadbells was dissolved into the cauldron.
Right.
So, you could potentially throw them into the cauldron.
I think when she slices them up a little bit, she would throw them into the cauldron and put the lid back on.
All right. In doing so, the smoke rapidly dissipates from the room. what would you like to do? You've got all of you. One key has been placed in the door. The looky-like sitting there unshackled and sort of rubbing at his deformed wrists. The Mr. Threadneedle, the skeleton.
Scarecrow.
Or yeah, Scarecrow. He's not a skeleton, totally. No, seriously, he's not. That was just my mistake.
Well, you wanted to take a rest, didn't you, Brilinya? Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Maybe take a long rest. If we can, get some spell sleuths back.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a feeling we're going to need them.
So, in the interest of time and having a little more, depending on what you choose to do, we can say that you take your long rest. It's safe to do so. You've eliminated all the threats in this area. And you would be able to do so. You keep a watch. Unless you want to do something specific during this long rest, we can just say it's done, or you can have conversations if you want to. Or
the only thing I'd probably do for my long rest is level up.
well, it's not that time yet.
Damn it. You know what? Worth a shot.
You just hit level 14.
Well,
14 is not enough.
level
I
twice,
almost said, yeah, it's on the level. Wait a minute. You almost got me.
Worth a shot.
Brilinya will be casting prestidigitation on herself multiple times to clean the smell.
I will also, I would also cast before I take the long rest, create food and drink, pass some blandish food, but I also make 30 gallons of water and give it virtually all to Brilinya to help her clean herself out there.
You just cast it in the form of a shower.
Hey,
Like,
I didn't mean
one
in a
of those-
weird way.
Have you ever seen those like emergency, like if you're in a lab setting, they have like those emergency decamination? No, what?
decontamination shower.
Decontamination. Jeez, showers where it's just gallons of water that just on you.
It's okay. The hags installed a floor, or a Serac installed a floor drain on this level. So yeah, you guys would be able to do all of that. Is your intention after your rest to open the door? Okay, that's all. I didn't want to force you into it, and if you wanted to do something else, but I kind of wanted to end the session on the door opening and give you that sense of what you see when you open the door. So this, we're about to end the session, but I'm going to tell you what you see when you open the door. In fact, I might even show you. I'll go here. I need to do this in a way that's not going to show you too much. Yeah, that'll work. Like that. See, okay. So, you get your full rest. Everybody's cleaned up. Brilinya smells tons better than before. You place all of the keys into the door. When the last one is placed in there, this whole door rises up into the ceiling, revealing a set of stairs that descend down for about 20 feet. As you look down into this area and you descend in here, you see crumbling balconies overlooking a pool of lava that fill this triangular chamber, above which is suspended an enormous crystal cylinder held in place by 3 adamantine struts. Wraith-like forms swirl inside the cylinder, and otherworldly screams hang in the air. 4 long, writhing tentacles sprout from the cylinder's cap. A shriveled monstrosity the size of an elephant floats near the cylinder. Its body is wet and malformed. Its arms and legs are atrophied, and its oversized head drips black goo. The creature is attached to the cylinder by a twisted umbilical cord. This is what you see as you enter the Death God's nursery. And I'm going to try something. Let me see if I open. And that is, of course, where we are going to end this session. I am going to try something real quick. See if this will work. On this screen that we are on, I'm going to add an image, because I really want you to see this thing before we leave. I want everybody to have this in your mind's eye before we leave for tonight.
So we can have nightmares. I get it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, exactly. Except I don't know where the image saved. It went to it went into the wrong folder, that's why. So we'll go here. There we go. This is the figure that is in the middle. The cylinder and the horrific atrophied creature. As you have entered the Death God's nursery. And that will be episode 70 next Sunday night, right here on twitch.tv/mini-terrain-domain. It wasn't quite the Beholder encounter with Connor in one of my one-shots, but man, those hags could not do anything against you guys. You guys were saving against all of their spells. They were trying to hold you. They got one polymorph in on you. You were dodging lightning bolts. I was trying to eye bite you and cause you big problems. That was like a 7th level spell. But there you go. And you are apparently you are facing off against well, we'll just say that the giant cylinder in the middle of the room with the struts that and these struts, just for clarification, the struts they're not like it's standing on them. Like these adamantine struts go off in each direction, as you can see from the map. As you look at that, and they're sort of bolted against the, well, let me hide the monstrosity here. See, they sort of go off and attach to where these balconies are, and then one is sort of attached right in front of you. And we'll see what all that means when we return next week, as you grow ever closer to potentially the end of this adventure. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in with us tonight. Quite a few people that have been hanging out with us all night, and we appreciate you hanging out with us. Shout out to Monty DL for the resubscription. And Skybozia and Antonia Queen Scribe for the bits that earned some domain dice, and How Nerd rated us earlier on. So thank you so much. I do genuinely appreciate all of you in the chat, whether you're there just lurking. I want to bring that up. I know a lot of people just come in, they lurk, they don't talk in chat, and that is okay. If you're just here to listen, watch, whatever, that's great. Not going to call you out if you're lurking in the shadows. That's how you want to be a part of this. That is perfectly acceptable. And to all of you that do participate in chat, I thank you for that as well. I love seeing the chat fly by while the stuff is going on. And I just love that we have so many new friends that are discovering this game and joining us along with all of our other games. You can tune in, not tomorrow night, but soon, very soon. We will be returning on Monday nights. Every other Monday night, you will find Mike in the DM's chair, along with myself and Em, Big Bearded Nerd, and our friend Cassie, as we continue in the second leg of our campaign, All That Glitters, A Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage, as we are just going to be getting that one started. And then this Tuesday, I will be here at 8:30 with my Legends and Legacies Tales of Phandelver campaign that we do every other Tuesday. This Wednesday will be session 4 of our Call of Cthulhu Highway of Blood. That's once a month. You will find myself, Em, and Kaeryn, along with Big Bearded Nerd, our friend Carrie, and one of the authors of the Highway of Blood 1970s Call of Cthulhu scenario, Alex, as our lore keeper. And I will tell you this, if you plan on attending, it is a mature themed game. We do warn ahead of time that there is very mature content that we openly discuss amongst ourselves as player and GM, and we have safety tools in place. And everybody has given their consent for what's going on, but just be aware for content warning. That is a very adult game with the potential to get very dark. Thursdays we'll be back with our Dawnbringers game, and then I'm looking at the calendar. It's not this Thursday, I think, or Friday. It's next Friday. I'll be over on Nerdarchy. Somebody just asked in the chat what's after this campaign. When we finish Tomb of Annihilation, we have decided that, assuming they all survive, that we are going to end this campaign at level 15. And then we've got some other stuff planned coming up in this time slot in the future. When we're ready to announce that, we will do so. But you may see some familiar faces and some shorter campaigns running in this time slot. And then the plan is at some point in the future to take these characters back from level 15 to 20 in a sort of a Beyond Chult shorter campaign. But yeah, we're going to end this arc and I've got some really cool things planned for the end of this. But that's what will be happening in this time slot. So you want to stay tuned to see what is going to be coming up not long after this campaign ends. And then, yeah. We also have, actually, I forgot to mention, we have coming up in the first Wednesday of June, Big Bearded Nerd and I will be doing a twice a month miniature painting live stream for a couple hours on Wednesday nights called Beards and Brushes, amateur miniature painting. We're just a couple of new painters that have no idea what we're doing. We're just making it up as we go. So you can grab a brush, grab some minis, and paint along with us. The final thing I want to say is a big thank you to Mike, Kaeryn, Em, and Connor, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for 3 hours. So with that, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. We're going to end the stream the same way we end every stream. Oh, wait, I want to say real quick. Down below here, there is a link somewhere down there for the Discord in one of the panels. In fact, I don't remember if the Discord pops up when... I don't think it does when you type my name. But there is a Discord link down below. I've started hanging out in the after show voice chat. I will be there for about 20 minutes or so. If anybody wants to come by the Discord and hang out for a little bit. So with that, we are now going to end the stream the same way we end every stream. And you can say it with me if you want.